You're the truth, and you do it all so natural. You're so strong, and you show it anything. If you want it, it's yours. It's yours. You can have it all, yeah. Up early this morning, and I know God smiled on me. Ain't no time to sleep, no. I can't wait to start my day because I know it's gonna be beautiful like me. Hey, you're so beautiful. You're the truth, and you do it all so natural. You're so strong, and you show it anything. If you want it, it's yours. It's yours. You can have it all, yeah. Hey, you're so beautiful. You're the truth, and you do it all so natural. You're so strong, and you show it anything. If you want it, it's yours. It's yours. You can have it all, yeah. I look into my mirror, I love everything I see. Ain't no mistakes on me, no. I always remind myself there ain't no other me. Can't nobody else be. Hey, you're so beautiful. You're the truth, and you do it all so natural. You're so strong, and you show it anything. If you want it, it's yours. It's yours. You can have it all, yeah. You can have it all, yeah. Hey you, hey you, hey you, hey you, hey you. Hey you, you're so beautiful. You're the truth, and you do it all so natural. You're so strong, and you show it anything. If you want it, it's yours. It's yours. You can have it all, yeah. Hey you. You can have it all, yeah.
And welcome to this week's edition of Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends. Oh my God, we have so much to get into. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out and congratulations to my dear friend Brian Taylor on the opening of Philly Live Casino, which the official opening is tomorrow. So that's in the Northern Liberties area of Philadelphia. So of course Brian Taylor, he has a long history of a nightclub managing and food and beverage managing here in Philadelphia. So Philly Live Casino, it includes 200 luxury hotel rooms, entertainment complex. When we can have concerts again, COVID safe, they're ready with a great concert venue. Of course, gambling. They have multiple restaurants. So congratulations that they're bringing over 300 new jobs into the Philadelphia area. And as the business grows, they'll be pouring more into the economy here in Philly. They've promised to donate food and resources and clothing through different charitable initiatives here in Philadelphia. So that's really exciting. So I had a fabulous, relaxing, and restorative weekend off. Rare that I'm off a full weekend from work. I went to the Barnes Foundation, which was so fantastic. I have to give them a shout out as well. They really kept everybody safe with COVID procedures, temperature checking, controlling everybody coming in and out of the galleries. The Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia, which is on the Ben Franklin Parkway, has a wonderful collection of Impressionist art. Also has one of the largest collections of African sculpture on the East Coast. So definitely check out the Barnes Foundation. Of course, the Philadelphia Art Museum always has a lot of great stuff happening. You have the Liberty Museum in Philadelphia as well, and there are also a lot of independent galleries as well. So then I also went to the Rittenhouse Grill, which is in the Warwick Hotel, which I love that hotel. The rooms and lobby is just so chic, and it has beautiful blue lighting and fireplaces, and I'm all about the design and the aesthetic when I go to hotels and restaurants. The decor in the Rittenhouse Grill is amazing, super luxe and chic, and the food and service is outstanding. You have the beautiful silver cutlery and linen tablecloths, and it's a whole experience. It's good to treat yourself every once in a while. It's good for the spirit and sense of getting back to normalcy. So now in broadcast we have media news here. So this is a breaking news story here in Philadelphia. So yesterday there was an article released in the New York Times that apparently there has been executives who had in practice racist and sexist behavior. So 2 CBS executives have been placed on administrative leave. I'm sorry, it was the following article in the Los Angeles Times. So allegedly these executives cultivated a hostile work environment that included bullying female managers and blocking efforts to hire and promote black journalists at CBS-owned stations, including CBS Philadelphia. One of them was alleged to have described longtime anchor Yuki Washington as just a jive guy. I just want to pause right there. Anyone who's grown up in Philadelphia, lived in Philadelphia, or even the suburbs knows Yuki Washington is more than just a jive guy. He is a celebrated, accomplished journalist. He is a reporter and man of integrity. He has helped the community in various charitable ways, not only the African American community, but the community as a whole. He was the producer and long-standing host of Wraparound with Yuki Washington, which was one of the first shows of its kind in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s to bring together teenagers and adolescents in a roundtable discussion format to discuss issues that were affecting teenagers and adolescents, like coming from broken homes, gang violence, self-esteem, bullying, all these different issues. And he would have an open and respectful forum with these teenagers to air out, their problems. Yuki Washington has a long history of mentoring other reporters and executives and being, a very high standard reporter. He is basically like our other Philly station, NBC, he's like the Jim Gardner of CBS. So Peter Dunn, who's the president of CBS television stations, and David Friend, and its senior vice president news for the TV stations, have placed on administrative leave pending the results of a third-party investigation into the issues that include those raised in a recent Los Angeles Times report. So, Dunn was a former general manager of CBS 3, the Philadelphia affiliate of CBS. And so now these executives are under investigation. And 2021 is the year of accountability and no tolerance. Anybody who is creating an environment of discrimination, harassment, hurtful and traumatizing behaviors, and there's no tolerance. You gotta go. So Washington released a statement on his social media thanking everyone for their support, and that, you know, we need to continue to address these issues. There's no tolerance for hate, you know. So I'm sad to hear this, but I'm also happy to hear that. I wish it didn't take this long, because clearly this was a dynamic going on for a long time. But at least it's finally coming out to light, so these people can be held accountable. And new policies can go into effect, especially when you're talking about a news organization that is supposed to reflect what's going on in the whole world and relate to all people. If behind the scenes you're having discriminatory and marginalizing behaviors, there's no excuse or acceptance for that at all. So in other media news, I'm sad to report that we lost a broadcasting icon this past week. Journalist, TV reporter, radio host, Larry King passed away of complications from COVID at age 87. Larry King won 2 Peabody Awards, 9 Emmys, 10 Cable Ace Awards during his career. King hosted and interviewed over 50,000. He conducted in his over 60-year career 50,000 interviews. His career started in Miami on WMBM radio in the 1950s and 60s. From 1985 to 2012, Larry King hosted Larry King Live on CNN. From 2012 to 2020, he hosted Larry King Now. Larry was an avid baseball fan, and he not only interviewed every dignitary, celebrity, icon, current news story. He was also friends with many politicians, celebrities, and athletes, and was known for his dinner parties and his breakfast, where he would invite all these interesting mix of celebrities, and he would just start a topic of conversation for people to ruminate on, and then go back and forth and open dialogue about. Of course, from 2012 to 2020, he hosted Larry King Now. King was inducted into the Broadcaster Hall of Fame in 1996. Many celebrity guests and politicians loved going on his show because Larry King had a very direct, no-nonsense, but not confrontational approach. He was known for asking easy, open-ended questions and not talking over his guests or trying to compete with his guests that many hosts do. He also wrote a regular column for USA Today for 20 years. Larry King Live became the longest-running TV show hosted by the same person on the same network in the same time slot. And he also guest starred on many TV shows as himself. He actually years ago was on The Simpsons, and he also guested in different movies too. He was a bigger-than-life personality. He was known for his big wavy hair and his suspenders. He always had suspenders on, and he truly was a no-nonsense reporter, but always with ethics and class. He covered the O.J. Simpson trial. trial, as John Benet Ramsey murder, all the really big international stories of the day, and he was highly respected. He leaves behind 2 children and 5 ex-wives. Larry was quite the ladies' man. And Larry King also founded the Larry King Cardiac Foundation, which after he had a heart attack many years ago, he founded this foundation to help fund people who were in need of cardiac procedures but did not have the resources to afford them. Larry King set the bar that any of us in broadcasting follow. He is on the same level of impact and influence as Oprah Winfrey, Barbara Walters. There'll never be another Larry King. He left such a mark on the world of journalism and broadcasting. So we send our condolences out to his family and all those who were inspired by him. So we're going to take our first musical break, and when we come back, we have a lot to dig into. President Biden has already, in his first week of office, been busy rolling out a lot of great executive orders. So keep it locked into Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends, and we'll be back with more fashion, entertainment, and political news.
No money. Stop making all that noise.
106.5 is where you're at. You already know.
One of the fastest videos to rise to the top of our countdown in the history of BET's 106 and Park. We're going to get into the #1 video in the world right now. Normani.
Do your thing, girl.
I'ma break you off, let me be your motivation to stay and give it tonight. Baby, turn around, let me give you innovation, yeah, 'cause I do it so right. You got that good, good, baby, don't you? Got that good, good, baby, don't you? But you're leaving so long. Ain't regular, that ain't regular. I ain't gon' keep waiting for it. Ain't gon' keep waiting for it. 'Cause you know this thing, yeah, ain't regular, that ain't regular. Falling into the bed, why would we ever do something instead of falling into the bed right now? Yeah, I'ma break it off, let me be your motivation to stay and give it tonight. Baby, turn around, let me give you innovation, yeah, 'cause I do it so right. Think about it, ooh, think about it, think about it, ooh, take a look at me now. Hey, a little motivation, alright. You got a bad one, baby, don't you? Got a bad one, baby, don't you? And we both know there's no one better boy, no one better boy. Too late, won't make it, I'ma tell 'em. Get you naked, but I won't tell 'em. 'Cause you know that there's no one better boy, no one better boy. Falling into the bed, why would we ever do something instead of falling into the bed right now? Yeah, right now. I'ma break it off, let me be your motivation to stay and give it tonight. Baby, turn around, let me give you innovation, yeah, 'cause I do it so right. Think about it, ooh,
that you're looking for a girl like me. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. I'm looking for a girl like me.
Latinas. Hey, I want a girl like Shakira. Hey, esa latina está rica. I wanna find me a chica que sepa vivir y que viva la vida. Anita bien bonita, elegante señorita. Girl, I want you when I need ya. All of my life, yeah, baby, let's team up. I want a girl that shine like glitter. A girl that don't need no filter. The real, for real. A girl that's a natural killer. I want a girl that's a heater. Caliente off the meter. Yo quiero una chica que no me diga mentiras.
So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. I'm looking for a girl like me.
Oye mami, estoy buscando una chica, sí. Oye mami, estoy buscando una chica, sí. Latinas. Sacudelo como Shocky. Baby, drop it low on top me. Electric feels so shock me. Your hips don't lie, they rock me. Baby, come get me, you got me. Oye, mami, ven aquí. You know I'm liking what I see. Muévelo, 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 así. Yo quiero una mujer, una princesa, no tiene poderes. A chick with no boundaries, that's down for whatever. When nothing in la cama, she good in the bed. A girl that be using her head to use the cabeza the best. I want a girl who's a diva. No quiero otra, así eso es.
So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me. I'm looking for a girl like me. When a girl that shines like glitter, baby, you know I need no filter. For real, I'm real. You know I'm real. Like that my lips are so glossy. Like how my neck is so bossy. Baby, if you do it my way, just for the hell of it, I let you love me.
Latinas, Shakira, Shakira. I like Latinas, ones who look like Selena. Shake a bunda like Anita. Morenas, that's más fina. I like Dominicanas, Boricuas and Colombianas. In East LA, I like the Chicanas, and they want a piece of the big manzana.
So they tell me that you're looking for a girl like me.
Oye mami, estoy buscando una chica, sí.
I'm looking for a girl like me. Vente, pasa en tu mente. Soy adictiva como el azúcar. Me buscas permanentemente. No ves que solo quiero jugar.
Just wonder,
Time stands still, can't explain what I feel. If this is really real, nothing's ever gonna be the same. I get to say goodbye to the struggle in life. Say hello to the sky, spread my wings and fly away. Even though life's been knocking me down, I had to figure it out, see my way through the doubt. And when it seems I'm lost, turn and found my way. What I got in my hands could be the spark, turns it all around. Could this be happening now? All my life I've waited for this day.
Tell me, what do you do when everyone's counting on you? The decisions you make, the give and the take, the promises kept and the ones that you break are the hardest to take. But ooh, we'll always be standing by you. No, I won't give up, I won't give in, 'cause the day that you run might be the day that you win. Either way now
know all your dreams are calling. All this day is out there if you want it. Don't be afraid. Believe it now, your best is yet to come. All my life I waited for this day. Waiting for this. We've been waiting so long. Waiting for this day. Waiting for this day. Is the present the gift, or is the present the gift?
Welcome back to Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends. I tell you, I've just been cranking out such great music the past months. Like, every time I turn around, he's got a new single coming. So I've really been excited hearing all the great music everybody's been putting out during these times. And Jasmine Sullivan just released a new CD last week that everybody's buzzing about. So now everybody's also buzzing now. So the articles of impeachment have now formally been delivered to the Senate, setting in motion the next stage of the forthcoming trial against former President Donald Trump. After the articles move through to the Senate, both the House managers of the impeachment and former President legal counsel will have time to draft their legal briefs, and then the presentations for both sides will start February 8th, which will consist of various evidence and documents and testimony from various people. So of course, the importance of this is criminal charges. And of course, if an elected official is brought up and found guilty on criminal charges, they can no longer hold public office. So that will be starting to unfold on February 8th. So we'll be interested to see how that unfolds, and we'll be bringing you updates as that moves along. So, of course, Trump released a statement. This is the first time since the impeachment process started that he in any way has publicly acknowledged that he was brought up on charges. So Trump released a statement yesterday saying that he's always in support of America and the best interest of America. But of course, if that wasn't the case, he wouldn't have incited an insurrection and terrorists to attack our Capitol building, and he wouldn't have done so many things that broke the law and has divided our country instead of bringing us together. So now, in other news, grand jurors in the Breonna Taylor case have filed a petition calling for Attorney General Daniel Cameron to be impeached, claiming that Cameron mishandled the case and fed false information to the media and the jurors about the charges that were being brought against the police officers who entered Breonna Taylor's home and proceeded to beat her and kill her in her own home. The petition asks that Cameron is charged with inciting the insurrection on the U.S. Capitol building as well, because apparently he also played a significant part in that, in organizing and marketing it and making the marketing and getting people riled up to go assemble and attack the Capitol building. So I'm happy to see that we're starting the first wave of reckoning and accountability for these legislators. There's a lot more that needs to be happening, but every step forward is a step towards progress. So now, speaking about more progress, President Biden has lifted the transgendered ban on transgendered soldiers serving in the military. The White House has said that the executive order ensures that America can build a more inclusive and more effective force, making America stronger at home and around the world. So in 2015, I believe it was, President Obama rolled out the executive order that transgendered soldiers were allowed to openly serve in the military, as well as LGBTQ soldiers as well. Of course, prior to that, under President Clinton's executive orders, the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, homosexual soldiers had to live in fear and not openly share their spouses and their orientation for fear of being kicked out of the Army, losing their benefits, their pension, promotions, and their position. Of course, when President Trump came in office, he repealed President Obama's order. And now President Biden is repealing that and giving transgendered and LGBTQ soldiers, of which there are many, to openly serve and creating a more inclusive dynamic in the armed services, which I think is a great thing. So we're going to take another musical break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about in depth the 5-part plan that President Biden is starting to put in place to address racial equity and systemic racism within the government, prison system. So lots of good things happening on the horizon. Keep it locked into Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends Radio, and we'll be right back after this.
Cause I'm so done. Guarding my tongue, holding me back. I'm living the way that I want. Cause I'm so done.
fighting myself, going through hell. I'm living the way that I want. 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 I'm living the way that I lost control over all my energy. Done so much damage to my heart. I've given in, I've changed my identity. I didn't mean to go so far. Oh my God, I wish I could be better than this. My God, wish I could be. 'Cause I'm so done. God in my tongue, holding me back. I'm living the way that I want. 'Cause I'm so done. Fighting myself, going through hell. I'm living the way that I want. 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 I'm living the way that I want.
Living away on a high, can let you get in the way. Oh no. People keep changing their faces. Why I'm so jaded, I face it. I think I'm fading, I'm taking back. No.
I wish I could be better than this. My God, wish I could be. 'Cause I'm so done. God in my tongue, holding me back. I'm living the way that I want. 'Cause I'm so done. Fighting myself, going through hell. I'm living the way that I want. 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 Let's live by the moment. Let's live by the moment. Let's live by the moment.
Another one bites the dust. Oh, why can I not conquer love? And I might have thought that we were one. Why not to fight this war with our weapons? And I wanted it bad. But there were so many red flags. Now another one bites the dust. Yeah, let's be clear, I'll trust no one. You did not break me. I'm still fighting for peace. I've got thick
I can survive. I walk through fire to save my life. And I want my life so bad. I'm doing everything I can. And another one bites the dust. It's hard to lose a chosen one. You did not break me. I'm still fighting for peace. I've got thick skin and an elastic core. With your blade it might be too sharp. I'm like a rubber band until you pull too hard. Yeah, I may snap and I move bust. Won't see me fall apart. 'Cause I've got an elastic I've got thick skin and an elastic core. With your blade it might be too sharp. I'm like a rubber band until you pull too hard. Yeah, I may snap and I move bust. Won't see me fall apart. 'Cause I've got an elastic core. I've got thick skin and an elastic core. With your blade it might be too sharp. I'm like a rubber band until you pull too hard. Yeah, I may snap and I move bust. Won't see me fall apart. 'Cause I've got an elastic core. I've got an elastic core. Yeah, I've got an elastic core.
On gone this week.
Not again. Oh, this ain't supposed to happen to me.
Keep rocking and keep knocking. Whether you Louboutin it up or Reebokin, you see the hate that they serving on a platter. So what we gon' have? Dessert or disaster?
I never thought I'd be in love like this. When I look at you, my mind goes on a trip. Then you came in and knocked me on my face. Feels like I'm in a race, but I already won first place. I never thought
bunch of Caspers so we could finally fly off into NASA. You was always the cheerleader of my dreams. It seemed to only date the head of football teams, and I was the class clown that always kept you laughing. We were never meant to be, baby, we just happened. So please don't mess up the trick. Hey, young world, I'm the new slick Rick. They say I move too quick, but we can't let this moment pass us. Let the hourglass pass right into ashes. Let the wind blow the ash right before my glasses. So I wrote this love letter right before my classes. I could have got his ass, someone that's only average for advice. OMG, you listen to that? Woe is me, baby, this is tragic. Cause we had it, we was magic. I was flying, now I'm crashing. This is bad, real bad, Michael Jackson. Now I'm mad, real mad, Joe Jackson. You should leave your boyfriend now, I'ma ask him.
And welcome back to Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends Radio. So we're continuing to update you on all the latest breaking political news. So President Biden is outlining an entire package that is intended to address systemic racism across the federal government by signing 4 executive actions to boost racial equity and remove any roadblocks hindering people of color or marginalized groups. He announced on Tuesday that he will sign 4 executive orders that will address past federal discriminatory policies in housing policies, ordering the Department of Justice not to renew contracts with private prisons, reestablish the government's commitment to tribal sovereignty, and condemn xenophobia towards Asian American Pacific Islanders. Now, this is really important because, of course, Trump pulled back federal involvement in prisons last year, which of course means that prisons then are not regulated by the government funding, so then all kinds of heinous things can be going on in the prisons, and prisoners don't have protection and guards, and it just leads to a mess. Biden made it clear that each agency in the federal government has the expectation to carry out these actions, and quote, "We need to make the issue of racial equality not just an issue for any one department of government. It has to be the business of the whole government," Biden said. On his first day of administration, former UN Ambassador Susan Rice, who's now the White House Domestic Policy Council chief, announced that she will lead the administration's racial equity initiative. The administration is undertaking a whole of government approach, creating initiatives that are intended to address systemic racism at the federal level, which is exactly what we need to disassemble and reassemble the government and all of its structures to be fair and just and inclusive. Agencies have been directed to review their individual states of equity and deliver an action plan within 200 days to deal with barriers in opportunity. In comments to reporters on Tuesday, Rice said that investing in equity is good for economic growth, and described how addressing systemic racism through policy would be beneficial for the entire nation. I mean, without looking at statistics, this is basically a self-explanatory point. The more buying power you give our communities, the better education, access to fair pay, and good paying jobs. People have more disposable income to invest in businesses, and the economy grows. So this is not only the moral thing to be doing, but it also makes fiscal sense. Economists have estimated that the U.S. economy has lost a staggering $16 trillion over the last 20 years because of discriminatory practices against families of color. Rice said, if we closed racial gaps in income and opportunity, these same economists have estimated we could add $5 trillion to the U.S. economy over the next 5 years and over 6 million new jobs for Americans. Now, regarding housing, Biden's directive will encourage the Department of Housing and Urban Development to examine the effects of previous regulatory actions and procedures from the agency that did harm to fair housing policies and laws, and then take the proper action to truly implement the Fair Housing Act. So the Fair Housing Act is a legislation and organization that is supposed to enforce that people of all incomes and races and minority backgrounds fiscally have access to housing that is economically affordable and attainable, and that tenants are treated fairly and dealt with in a considerate and honest way. So as it pertains to federal prisons, which incarcerate a disproportionate number of people of color, Biden is ordering the U.S. Attorney General to end the government's relationships with the for-profit prison system, discontinuing additional contracts with those companies. While a new Attorney General has not been confirmed yet, Biden has nominated former U.S. Court Appeals Judge Merrick Garland for this position. The administration has also directed the federal government to strengthen its relationship with Native Americans and Alaskan Natives, sovereign nations, and engage in regular consultation with tribal governments. Biden's executive order addresses xenophobia targeted at Asian American and Pacific Islanders, and it directs Department of Health and Human Services to coordinate a better COVID-19 response to those communities, and the Justice Department to respond to anti-Asian American and Pacific Islander hate crimes. So Biden has said in his press conference, I ran for president because I believe we're in a battle for the soul of the nation. And Biden said, relating to one of his campaign slogans, and the simple truth is our soul will be troubled as long as systemic racism is allowed to persist. So I think these are great first steps, but this is just, I feel, a start. So it's going to take a long time to address all these issues and basically audit and hold accountable schools, institutions, government, and law to look at itself and reevaluate and make new practices to undo a lot of these mindsets so we can have a more truly free and just country. But I'm happy that we're making steps forward, and I'm hopeful that we're going to continue to make more aggressive steps over time. And of course, it also starts with us taking a look at how we treat each other, the decisions we make in business. Are we inclusive mindset? Do we have diversity? Are we teaching our children, our friends, our family, our coworkers to continuously treat each other in a non-judgmental and embracing and respectful and supportive mindset? So we're going to take another musical break. When we come back, I'm really excited. We have some great guests for you today. We'll be interviewing Troy Adkins, who is the owner of Volare France Men's Fashion, which is a luxe urban streetwear brand that caters to the fuller size man. So we're going to be talking high fashion, size acceptance, body positivity, and his new foray into the beauty salon business, as he just launched a new beauty spa and salon here in Philadelphia. So keep it locked into Style and Empowerment Chat. We'll be back with more fashion, glamour, positivity, and headlines after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vivienne Green.
It's that grown folk music.
Can nobody do what you do to my body? Make me wanna tell somebody. But if I do, they'll try and rob me. Make me so lazy, I don't wanna get out of bed. I lose track of time like all the time and time again. And I ain't
little Caesar.
Queen Bee. That's me.
Check it. Yo, I be buying B's, so all my girls be eyeing C's. Coming backstage, dying to get pleased. You got me, I rock the Versace and linen. While you spotting and grinning with a bunch of foxy women. While you speedball with cars, that's invalid. I get clothes custom made from a stylist. Cruise in my Lexus land with no malice. While you walk the street until your feet get callous. Take you on the natural high like a pallet. It be all good, toss your clothes like a salad. When it's all over, put your vote in my ballot. This my diner, I'm Mel and you're Alice. Spend the night in Little C's palace. It be all good as long as you don't act childish. While you standing there with the crisp in your cup, the worst come to worst, keep this on the hush.
I know you see me on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you.
Hey yo, shorty, won't you go get a bag of the lethal? I'll be undressed in the bra all see-through. While you count your jewels, thinking I'ma cheat you. The only one thing I wanna do is freak you. Keep your stone sets, I got my own baguettes. And I'll be doing things that you won't regret. Little Kim the Queen Bee, so you best take heed. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. I'ma throw shade if I can't get paid. Blow you up to your girl like the army grenade. You can slide on my ice like the escapade. And itchy yaya with the marmalade. Who me? Not you. Oh yes, who's he? I even dig your man's style, but I love your profile. Whisper in your ear and get you all shook up, but don't blush. Just keep this on the hush.
I know you see me on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you.
While you trying to kiss Sea Breeze, I'm in the PVs, all chrome D3s, decked out TVs, CDs with crazy bass. Keep my lady lace. Don't be fooled by the baby face. I hope you're not, cause your thighs got me hot. Only one plan, that's the rise to the top. I told you before when I first pursued, I want an interlude in the nude.
You know I love the way you feel her. Sip my tequila, move from the dealer, full-length chinchilla. Heat up the clutch, 750 deluxe. Then we speed down the hutch, breaking trees in the Dutch. I'm not the one you sleep with, then eat quick. Want a cheap chick? Better go down a freaknik. You got to hit me off. Buy this girl gifts, of course. So I look sick in my six with my Christian LaCroix.
I know you see me on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you. I know you see me on the video. I know you heard me on the radio. But you still don't pay me no attention. Listening to what your girlfriends mention. He's a slut, he's a hoe, he's a freak. Got a different girl every day of the week. It's cool.
You know, we've been together for some time, and I've been experiencing some kind of feelings that's changed and rearranged for the better. And I hope that you've been feeling the same way, and pray that you ain't running game. Hey, just what do you have to say?
As I sit here thinking about you, suddenly I feel ashamed.
You do?
The feelings deep inside me suddenly begin to change. When I see your face and hear your voice, I seem to lose despair. I get relaxed and overjoyed whenever you are near. Who can make me do the things I do? Who can make me be
I'm saying. But let me just explain once more, okay? Check it out. It don't take a genius to know I care for you. Love, cherish, respect, can only be there for you. Why not? It's quite simple. A love affair like this, I can truly get my heart into. Haven't you? Cause you're my morning flower. For you, I give my fortune, fame, and power. No, I'm not kidding. But shouldn't we just enjoy this and take it as it is? You do? So do I. Don't you see each other apple in my sleepy eyes? My dear, I must confess that I'm your love slave and you're my empress. I love you like a wife, mother, sister, or daughter. Worship your every move, even drink your bath water. I'm not playing, it's true. And my love is for only you. I see you got the picture. So come over here and let's get freaky. You ready? 1 and a 2 and a 1. I wanna do it like and give it to you just like. Come over here and do it like. Turn around and I do a little something like. 2 times. 1 more time, hit it. What?
Let me take you by the hand and talk to you just for a while. And I'll kiss your cheek and say sweet things
Just to see you smile.
Cause you smile bright as on my day and turns my gray sky blue. Believing that I'm happy cause of you.
Only you can make me do all the things I do.
If it's true, I'm in love with you.
I'm stuck to you just like crazy glue. I'm not the kind of guy who just likes to slam bam, thank you ma'am, then I'm through. You're the only one for me, yep, just you. You and only you.
Why?
Cause of the things you do.
Oh.
Don't you see I'm the one for you? These words are true, and my love is for
Only you.
only you.
Make me do the things I do. I know you can make me bring the world to you. Yes, it's true. It's you and only you.
Yeah.
Hit 'em off like this.
Baby, I seen you with another lady. I just been telling you, baby, why'd you have to go? Don't leave me, baby. No, I'm about to be crazy. I can't stand my love is being shady. Why'd you have to go? Don't leave me. What about you? What about me? What about us? What we gon' do? Total help me sing. Total help me sing. What about you? What about me? What about us? What we gon' do? Hey, 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 hey. Baby, I know that you've been pimping, Mr. Baller, tricking. Why you have to go? Go and leave me, baby. I always been your baby. I make a girl go crazy. I can't understand why you left me. What about me? What about you? What about us? What we gon' do? Solo help me sing. What about me? What about you? What about us? What we gon' do? What we gon' do? What we gon' do? emotional faders keep repeating self-hating phrases. I have heard enough of these voices, almost like I have no choice. This is biological stasis, my mood shifting to manic places. Wish I laughed and kept the good friendships. Watch life feel like go again. I can't see me cry, can't see me cry ever again. I can't see me cry, can't see me cry. This is the end. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, ever since day one, Papa 911. Can't see me cry, can't see me cry ever again. I can't see me cry, can't see me cry. This is the end. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, ever since day one, Papa 911. Can't see me cry, can't see me cry ever again. Can't see me cry, can't see me cry. This is the end. And welcome back to Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends. So thank you for tuning in on all our affiliates in London, Pakistan, Cleveland, Philly, all around the world. So I'm so excited to finally, our paths have been crossing for many years. We last met, about 2 years ago backstage at Philly Fashion Week. Right. So I'm so excited to have Troy Adkins, the founder of Volare Men's Fashion. Now, is it now Volare France or Volare Men's Fashion? I know you were...
It's Volare brand.
Okay, so it's Volare brand. I got confused because it said Volare France on the Instagram. I'm like, oh, is it France brand fashion? And Chantel Montgomery, who is the co-owner of your
Volare Glam Studios.
Yes, your new venture. So I'm so excited to talk beauty and fashion and empowerment. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So now, Troy, you started out initially as a stylist.
Yes.
Yes.
So big and tall.
Yes, which is definitely a niche that needs a lot of representation.
Right.
So tell me, how did you evolve? Obviously, fashion was always a passion. Mm-hmm. So how did you evolve into becoming a stylist initially?
Because I always liked the style. Mainly big and tall guys, because we don't have that much clothes we can't go in the store and get certain type of clothes. So I started making clothes for big and tall guys, and that's how I started from there.
Now, where did you pull the name Volare from?
It means fly in French.
which your clothes definitely are.
Yes.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Volare brand, it really has what I call like an elevated urban street, sophisticated street fashion. So Troy uses a lot of luxe fabrics like velvet and velour and kind of graffiti art on a lot of the clothes. This definitely is the man who is confident, who wants to be noticed and make a statement. So now, can you tell us a little bit about your process creating a brand, the look and vibe of the brand, you know, and when you were choosing the direction that you wanted the brand to go?
Well, I wanted to do some upscale, some everyday streetwear, something that's just different from what guys usually wear. I know that sometimes smaller guys, skinny guys, are fashionable, and big guys want to be fashionable as well.
Well, I think you're bringing up so many important points that is right in line with what I'm about, not only as a person but in media. There's so many misconceptions and prejudices out there, and preconceived notions about people of whatever you want to call it, fuller size, plus size, you know, that we don't love fashion, that we're not confident, that we don't want to look good. People say, oh, well, they just gave up, so who cares, you know, like, just, no, that's so not true. And I relate on the female side of that. You know, you go into stores and you say, hey, I like that, that's cute, yeah, where's my size?
Right.
And it's not there.
Right.
Or if it is there, it's executed in a less stylish way. Like you go into Macy's, I always refer to that as you go, okay, cute, glam dress. Then we ease over to the plus size or the women's department, and it looks like the land that women just gave up.
Right.
And there's a lot of misconceptions out there. You know, we're confident. We're trendy. We want comfortable and trendy and attainable clothes.
Right.
So it's so important what you're doing, because especially for men, there's been a lot of movement with women in this area the past year, but there's not a lot of brands and people speaking out for the men.
Right.
You know, there are men out there who don't look like Brad Pitt body-wise, but they want to look fab. They want to feel confident, you know. So it's really important what you're doing. And now, of course, you've also, over the years of your brand, partnered with a lot of male body positive influencers.
Right.
So, you want to talk a bit about that and just the importance of putting men out there in a positive light?
Well, I have stylists and preachers, basketball players, football players, some lawyers, some people in some high places.
Yeah, his name's escaping me, but the gentleman who played Biggie Smalls.
Yes, I forgot his name.
Yeah, Joe. Was it Jerome? Joe.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, he played in the biopic. He played Biggie in the biopic. So when you showed in New York Fashion Week, he actually was one of your models, correct?
Yes.
So, well, that's so exciting, and I mean, that's a dream of most designers to make it from, hey, I think I want to start a clothing brand, to I'm going to be in New York Fashion Week. So, can you talk to us a bit about, as an entrepreneur, your steps in starting a brand and where you were able in such a short time to, you know, just styling and launching your brand to being on the runways in New York Fashion Week?
Right. I mean, it's very exciting. It's something I never thought I would be doing.
And where do you draw your confidence from, you know, helping some of our listeners
Well, I always was into fashion since I was a kid. It's just that I was bigger than the usual kids, so I had to figure another way out. So, you know, I started, you know, creating. I sketched some of my designs and stuff like that. Now, I don't sew, but I do sketch a little.
Okay. Well, it's like they say, necessity is the mother of invention.
Right.
So, oftentimes when we don't have access to the things that we want, we have to create those doors for ourselves.
Right.
So now you are an entrepreneur in many lanes.
Right.
I'm excited to talk about your new venture. Mm-hmm. So talk to us a bit about the Glam Studio, what services you're offering, and what made you decide to move. I mean, they are kind of branches of the same tree, mm-hmm. but what made you decide to move into the lane of beauty services?
Well, me and Chantel, we was trying to start a kids salon about 3 years ago. The place that we was going to move with, it didn't fall through. We tried to go back into it this time, and it worked out pretty well. We're really trying to aim to do all services in there. We do nails, we do hair. We do braids, we do natural hair, we do wax, we do eyebrows, and we do lashes. So yeah, that's about it.
That's fantastic. So now, Chantel, can you tell us how you two connected and your role in the salon?
So me and Troy connected, I want to say about 5 years ago. We became really close friends. We met at an outing through a mutual friend, and we just became really close friends. And we kind of shared some of the same goals, like talking on the phone. We would talk about things that we wanted to do, and we came up with the idea of the kids line. That was the first thing we wanted to try out, and we went through. We kind of, I think we tried to go through with that for about like 6 months, and it just didn't work in our favor. So then we revisited this about 4 months ago, and now here we are with Volare Glam Studios.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I have to applaud you guys. First of all, I mean, I support artists and independent businesses and anybody who's going out, trying to carve their own niche and pursue a dream and turn dreams into reality. But especially right now, it's inspiring, right now with COVID and everything that's going on in the world. Many small businesses have folded, yes, or they've had to diversify. Like I was just reading, a Dame, for RM67, he just opened up a studio a year ago. Of course, he's one of the top couture designers. We've covered his shows, and he also has, I think, a health service staffing company, and he actually had to fold his studio for a minute. And now here you guys are opening up a new business when other businesses are struggling. So, I mean, I think that's fantastic. Any new venture takes courage. And so just talk to us a bit about, how you were able to make your business come to fruition, in these times, and just give some inspiration to aspiring business owners.
So originally we wanted to open up back in November.
Right.
And then we got the second wave of the pandemic, started to get a little discouraged. We're like, oh my goodness, when are we going to open? When can we open? And then it was like, okay, city lockdown again in December. And then we're like, okay, we'll aim for January. And then in January, we're actually able to open. It was kind of difficult because even with getting people to work during those times and get people to work on the salon and having the people come in and actually get work done, it was like a frustrating process. But look up and then there you are.
It's fantastic. And I feel it's inspiring, opening up your own business and showing it can be done. So now I talk a lot about on the show, and you're definitely an embodiment of that, the importance of representation. Representation in fashion, representation in marketing and commercials. And for people who that's not something they think about, representation means seeing images of people who look like us. And these are all things that filter into our self-esteem. So, can you guys just elaborate a bit on that topic? The importance of seeing yourselves out there and the commitment into both beauty and fashion and of your brand to that.
So when it comes to that's Troy's strong point. I sometimes get discouraged. He's like my cheerleader. He's like, don't give up. We got this. We're gonna make it. He always sees light at the end of the tunnel. He's just sometimes I get a little bit discouraged, and he's just like right there, like, no, we got this. Don't walk away. Let's keep going. Let's keep trying. Like, that's Troy's strong point. So I would like to take it on that one.
All right, we're turning it to Troy.
Well, I think that branding is really important. I'm really hard on them on, trying to get us more out there, branding commercials, just pushing it, just trying to figure out every day how we can expand our brand.
And one of the things that I like about your brand and its marketing, well, besides that, it's fab fashion, and Volare now makes items for women as well, which is great. It is that your brand promotes confidence, it's important messages for people to see. And what I like to see is it's not like a gimmick or a story it just is. It's natural and organic. And also in marketing, like what I like to see and I've seen in your brand, and I know some of your models, and not shout out Daryl. That's homie. Is you do your photo shoots and your modeling, and you're showing models of different sizes, and sometimes they're like in little romantic sort of things, but these are important images because it's showing that people of all sizes have a social life, have a sexuality, date, have relationships, are movers and shakers in the world, not like this a certain end of the industry and the choice makers would like to perpetuate these stereotypes that, well, you're just insecure and in the corner and not socializing and not having a life because you don't feel good about yourself and you have low self-esteem because you're above a certain size. So, I applaud brands who are breaking that stereotype, and we need more of that.
Right.
So, Chantal, part of beauty, of course, is self-esteem. All right? I mean, we can have the most amazing makeup on, but if we don't feel good inside, we're not going to carry off that fashion, that glam. So can you speak to our listeners about the importance you feel that the beauty industry plays in helping women feel good about themselves and men?
So at Volare, we know it's like, given a pandemic, the stress that's been placed upon everybody. As a mom, children are not really going to school anymore. It's just you in the house. You don't have that time to get away and feel good about yourself. And so that's what we offer at our space. We want women to come and just feel like we want to bring that confidence back, give you that feeling that you once felt before. That when I see myself all made up, and it just gives me that confidence. It just makes me want to go out and just enjoy the day and spread good energy in the air. And I think at Volare, that is what we do.
And I think that's so true. Just talking personally, people might say, oh, we're going to the salon, oh, that's just being indulgent. But especially nowadays with everything that's going on in the world, going to the salon is self-care.
Right.
Yes.
Right? It's not just like feeling fast, but it's self-care.
Right.
Taking that time to take care of yourself, your body, your spirit, and look cute too. But you sit in that chair, you get that massage, you're soaking your feet. Just the act of someone touching you. There's therapy in touch, and feeling taken care of, and it brightens your day. So now let's talk a little bit more about the services that you're offering at Volare Salon. So now are we doing manis, pedis, massages?
Yes, we offer manicures, pedicures. It's a one-stop shop. You can come there and get everything done, from your makeup to your hair. So
to the facials, to make sure we're keeping up with the good skin.
Fantastic. And now, what are some of the types of facials you offer? I know there's all kinds, the oxygenated and all these different types of facials. It can get so scientific, So what are some of your facials that you offer?
So currently, what facials are we offering?
That I'm not good at. So
okay,
but I do know one of the person that we have doing the facials. She does everything. She does all types of facials, waxes, everything.
So at Volare, what we did that made us different from a lot of the other brands was the girls who are on our team are kind of like partners with us. So in most
that's
salons,
great.
You would just be Natalie, the hairstylist,
and you just get tips, and a low hourly rate.
Right. So with us, the girls that are with us, they have their own brand and they offer their own services. So we're growing with them, and they're growing
so they're
with
like
us.
Independent contractors.
Exactly. So they're like independent contractors. So that's what. So a lot of the things that they offer are unique to their brand, so that's why we don't know exactly which facials are being
okay
offered.
So that's great. So like then they're bringing their own client base and following to your salon, well then growing new ones, and having equity within the business.
Exactly.
And that's really great because, I mean, this is an unusual business model because most salons do not give the estheticians and that much stake in the business.
Right.
So now, do you offer gel nails and acrylics and art nail design and stuff?
Yes, so we have techs that specialize in everything. So we have a tech that specifically specializes in pedicures.
Okay.
A tech that specifically specializes in gel manicures, and then we have acrylic techs. So we have whatever you need. So we're literally that one-stop glam shop.
And Chantel makes press-ons.
You do?
Yes, press-ons.
Oh, wow. So I'm completely intrigued. So what is the process, without giving all your tricks away? A splash of the sauce, not the whole pot. What's the process in creating press-on nails?
So the press-on nails, I like to... With the press-on nails, it just brings out your creativity side. Like a lot of people, like me, I work for the Ritz-Carlton outside of being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So there are certain nail colors that I can't wear or types that I can't wear. So the press-ons give me that time when I'm away from work to express myself. And what I'll do is I'll just, create me a pair of nails just for the weekend and just pop them off like the following day when I have to return back to work. So the process in making the nails would just be like a tip. So the tip that you usually apply when you're using acrylic, it would just be like a full coverage nail.
Okay.
And I just apply the paint and style that I like and just press them right on. It takes about 15 minutes. So that usual time that you're sitting for about an hour, it takes me about 15 minutes to just apply them, and I can just go all weekend with them.
Wow. Now, can you wash dishes and stuff like that and actually, Yep.
So the adhesive that I use is waterproof, so you can wash the dishes, go swimming, you can do different things while having them on. Sometimes people like to change up nails with their outfits or their hairstyle and stuff like that. It's just so versatile.
You know, I mean, women, we always want to change our stuff. We get bored very easily, and we're multifaceted and want to express that. And nails really, we were talking about this on the break. Nails is such a great way where you can just lift your mood and have some fun, and especially when you're talking about nail techs at your level at Volare, it is art. And it just lifts your spirit, like when you have wearable art on your hands, and you know you might be feeling a little down. Let me look at my sparkles and my painting on my fingers. All right, well this day wasn't as whatever, you know, hey, right? And there's so much you can do now, and I mean, there's always different nail shape trends. You know, for a while there, about 2 years ago, Rihanna with the real short, the stiletto nails. Yeah, that everybody was
Your
doing
nails
that.
Are really nice, actually. By the way, I really love the color.
Well, you know, this was my kind of spring transition. Well, camo is big right now,
Yeah.
and you know, I want to stay on trend, but I'm a girly girl, so me and camouflage just they don't mix. It's too androgynous for me. I feel like if you're gonna wear camo, you have to really stretch to make it feminine and cute, like a sexy top or boots or something. So I thought, well, here's a way for me to kind of be in the camo vibe with my green nails. And but I love sparkles, so I always gotta have like some sequins or you know sparkle on it.
And nails just allow you to express your creativity, so you can incorporate your sparkle with your camo and all of that.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, it's switching it up. You know, a fun and, you know, fierce manicure can change your look, just like some highlights in your hair. And you naturally, like, when you have a manicure, you don't think about it, but it truly is the little things that make a big difference in your mentality. You can have a really fly nail going, and naturally you're just more like, you know, you're bubbly, and, you know, it's like when you get a new piece of jewelry, and you're just like, oh yeah, you know, look, and you know. So again, that talks about like there's the beauty and fashion industry. I feel like in past years really gets trivialized unfairly as just it's just it's not important, whatever. It's that you're being vain. Fashion and beauty are very important. Because not only is it how we artistically express ourselves, but it's also how we uplift ourselves when we're feeling down. You know, you put on some great outfit, it lifts your spirits.
Yeah, definitely.
So now, you said also that you have a makeup artist as well. So what are give us a range of what your prices are. So like if you wanted to get a full face of makeup done or a full set of nails or massage, like, what are your price points like?
So for a full face of makeup, we range at about $55 for like a classic basic lip to maybe a more glamorous lip. It's about $75.
Okay.
Average set for a pair of nails would be about $40 to about $60, and then it goes up by length and of course the different styles that the girls want.
Okay.
And hair extensions, we offer the basic sew-ins and also natural hairstyles, so they do range at different prices. So for a natural look, maybe more about in the $40 to $50 range, and then for like a sew, we're starting at about $100.
Okay, well that's not bad. Now, of course, now the trends are the coffin nails.
Yeah, the different shapes.
Yeah.
Even Megan Thee Stallion has this thing going where it's this like lipstick shape. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a new popular shape that a lot of girls are asking for us now.
And you remember there was that show, I think it was about a year or so ago. It was like this reality TV show about these nail techs.
Oh, yes.
And it was like this competition, and they give them a theme, and it was kind of like Top Chef for nail techs.
Oh, really?
All right. Okay, you have 40 minutes, and the theme is this, and that, and you're judged on this, and this.
They got a time limit to do it.
Yeah, and they have all these 3D effects and like beveled stuff, and I'm like, how do you, and that really is wearable art, but some of it it's not wearable.
Absolutely. It's just it's amazing what they can do with nails. I actually have Fruity Pebbles cereal inside my nails right now. So,
really?
Yeah. So like, this amazing what people can do. They're hanging diamonds from the nails and all
Right.
types of stuff. So
Yeah, that was the trend about a year or so, where they had like these little almost that looked like earrings.
Yeah, kind of
that
hanging from the nails.
But I'm like, how do you get dressed and put on a how do you put on a pair of stockings with all that on your
You can
hand?
make it work.
Right.
Make everything else work.
Right? You just have to have someone come over and put your stockings on for you. So, Troy, who are some of your fashion inspirations and just people who have mentored you and helped bring you to where you are today?
I would say Kanye West. I would say Prada.
Right.
Those are my two top. I'm not really a fan of Gucci like that, but.
Well, I have to say, not getting too politically controversial, but I'm not a fan of Prada or Gucci because of the racially insensitive product that they put down the runway.
Right.
And Prada in particular.
But I thought it was Burberry.
It was all three.
Okay.
Prada, about 4 years ago, had a window in New York, their Madison Avenue store, that actually had minstrels in the window, and keychains to their purses.
Okay, you talking about? Oh, I know what you're talking.
Yeah,
about.
and then Gucci came out about 2 years ago down the runway. They were all in the press where they had this turtleneck.
In the face.
In the face, yeah. And, there's some mainstream, like, couture brands and stuff that I like and support, but
I like Off-White too.
Yes.
He's a black. He's one of the black designers. I like him. And what's that other brand all the girls are wearing now? It's another black brand.
Tefar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tefar, yes.
And of course, what's his name? Sergio. What's his last name? Yeah. So it's exciting to celebrate Michelle Obama and of course Vice President Harris. Their inauguration outfits were created by an independent black designer. So I think it's also so important that we rally our support behind independent designers.
Right.
And often I think one of the key steps in that is just making these stylists that work with these celebs aware of independent designers. Because oftentimes they just kind of knee-jerk say, oh, my contact at Valentino. Oh, my contact at Versace. Oh, yeah. But that's not helping your community.
At all.
And, these celebrities, they're in a position of power and influence.
Right.
And, connecting with independent designers like yourself is really a way to directly impact commerce in the community.
Right.
So, Troy, what are some words of encouragement that you would send to the, the brawnier man about, just how to feel good about himself, to not be afraid to be confident in their style, and to take risks in fashion and not hide?
Well, what I can say is be confident. Don't worry about whatever nobody says. I guess that's it.
Mm-hmm. And it's so important, I think, too, to have positive role models.
Right.
Yes. So now, what are some of your goals for the salon and Volare fashion brand?
Well, for Volare, I'm always looking for new clients to style. So, I guess y'all put up our Instagram and our social media, so, they can always hit me up on there. As far as Volare, Volare Glam Studio, we're just looking to build. We're always welcoming new customers. We're hiring as well.
Awesome.
So
Now, if people are interested in applying, where can they go to apply?
they can go to Chantel's Instagram, Volare Glam Studio Instagram, or contact our manager James.
Fantastic.
We want to thank James because James plays a very, very important part in Volare Glam Studio.
I just want to thank both of them because I appreciate both of them as well. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for them. And I just hope that we can just move forward and just do the best we can.
I appreciate them for the opportunities. My first time working in a salon, so it's a little difficult, and there's some determinants there, but we overcome them together.
Yes. Well, it's so important to have friends that lift each other up and believe in your dreams. And every time someone else steps out on the dream, you're inspiring other people.
Right.
So I'm excited to come and visit at the salon and take in some services. So now, where can we find you on social media?
So Volare Glam Studios would be the Instagram. The address is 6050 Ogans Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19141. And we look forward to servicing you.
And can you quickly just touch on your COVID safety precautions that you're doing at the salon?
So in order to come in, we're definitely making everyone wear a mask. We're definitely sanitizing everything. We do have the shields to protect you and the client, to protect our techs and our clients. We definitely...
And all our stations are 6 feet away.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
Following those guidelines. And then we do have we're sanitizing at least 3 times per week. So definitely
great.
Yeah, and our techs had to take a certification in COVID-19 EPA and sanitation guidelines. So we require the certificate upon hiring. So they all know exactly how to sanitize their stations after and before use. So.
Now, have you thought about, I've seen some of my makeup artist friends now are doing virtual makeup class. So as the salon grows, have you considered your makeup artists, like you could do virtual makeup classes?
Yes.
So we're going to offer a series of classes. We want to do virtual eyelash class.
That's where I struggle.
Tags. Yeah, so we're offering different services. There's a lot of people who are trying to get out here and like perfect their craft and start be an entrepreneur. So we're offering those classes and those services at the salon. Virtual.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so glad we've had the opportunity to sit down and talk, and Troy, we can finally sit down and Faiza, we always were rushing past each other. I miss fashion shows and the events and everything. But if we all mask and do what we're supposed to do, then we can actually get back to concerts and events and fashion week and everything. But safety comes first.
Right.
Safety definitely comes first.
I wish you guys nothing but success. So if you are in the Philadelphia and tri-state area, come on through Volare Salon. I wish you success and prosperity, and I keep positively lifting up the community. We're going to take another musical break. We'll be back with more Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends Radio after this. More fashion, good vibes, and keeping your spirit uplifted.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Emotional faders keep repeating self-fading phrases. I have heard enough of these voices, almost like I have no choice. This is biological stasis, my mood shifting to manic me cry ever again. I can't see me cry, can't see me cry. This is the end. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, Papa 911. My biggest enemy is me, ever since day one, Papa 911. Can't see me cry, can't see me cry ever again. Can't see me cry, can't see me cry. This is the end. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for us in all the wrong faces. I'm always looking for lust when I'm wine drunk and faded. Looking for love, I think we should make it. 'Cause I've been feeling lonely. Hold me, tell me that you think I'm pretty. Show me how to love and then show me how to love again. I was once told I'm too young to settle, but age ain't a thing, I'm just too sentimental. Looking for someone to write all the words to my instrumental. And if I give you my heart, promise you'll be gentle. 'Cause I've been lonely. Hold me, tell me that you think I'm pretty. Show me how to love and then show me how to love again. 'Cause I've been feeling lonely. Hold me, tell me that you think I'm pretty. Show me how
And welcome back to Style and Empowerment Show with Lauren Friends Radio. So, now, over the weekend, the Salt and Pepper movie came out on Lifetime. And I was really disappointed. I came up in the Salt and Pepper age. Push it, what a man, none of my business, Shoop. And they were one of the groups that I, as an adolescent and teenager, was like was in vogue. I'm like, yeah, girl power and empowerment, and and plus their songs were all so catchy. But they left Spinderella, out of the movie, in any creative direction, marketing,
That was dumb.
or input. Now, apparently they had a falling out, and they fired Spinderella in 2019. The group has, of course, been together since the 80s. Spinderella was the second Spinderella, but once the group had mainstream hits like Push It and all their other hits and Grammys and MTV Music Awards, the second Spinderella was part of all that. Apparently there was arguments about royalties and songwriting rights and stuff, and of course the group did break up twice over the years, and they had a reality show for a minute there, but I tried to watch it. Alright, 15 minutes I'm in it, and the girls that they cast didn't look anything like Salt and Pepper. The wigs were really bad, the acting was bad, and I was really disappointed because Queen Latifah and Mari Van Peebles produced it, so I expected a lot more. Now they do have Spinderella in the movie apparently, but she's really not saying much. It's not really sharing her story, and they didn't involve Spinderella in the creation of the movie. And if you're telling the group story, then you have to involve all members of the group in the movie, and the finances. And if you're at a point where fiscally, you can't come to agreement, or you guys are maybe in the midst of lawsuits and different things, then just don't do the movie yet. Don't do it until you are getting along and you're telling the full story with all members of the group. It's like doing the TLC story and not involving T-Boz, because you're in a fight with T-Boz. It's dumb. Plus, they were saying, oh, well, they went to Lifetime because nobody else wanted it. Well, maybe then the writing wasn't as good.
Exactly.
Maybe the direction of the films wasn't that great. Then go back to the drawing board and continue to shop it to a better network. I mean, no shade to Lifetime, but Lifetime makes cheesy movies. And when you're talking about a group that is so culturally important as Salt and Pepper, unless you're going to do it right, you're doing it an injustice. Now, in other TV movie news, a TV mogul, Wendy Williams, has just announced that she's going to have a new biopic coming out, The Life That I'm Living Right Now, the Wendy Williams story. So Wendy Williams has been a radio host and TV host and media mogul for over 3 decades. And she has established a mega brand as well, as her own production company. So, of course, Wendy had a tumultuous few years with her husband cheating on her and getting another woman pregnant, and then they divorced. So now, of course, I'm leery, but I don't know. I mean, so her new movie, Wendy Williams the Movie, is going to be on Lifetime. And then she has a documentary, Wendy Williams, What a Mess. Now, at a recent press conference, Williams spoke openly about her divorce and that she allegedly had been date raped by an R&B star at the beginning of her career. She said that it took her a long time to heal, and she knows many women have gone through similar circumstances. She said the gentleman's real name is Sherrick Williams. I have no idea who this guy is, but he apparently was an R&B singer from the 80s and had a song out called Just Call. And that when he came to D.C., they hit it off, and he invited her to an industry party, and then he attacked her before the party. She said that she wanted to be open and honest in her movie and inspire others. But I'm a little leery that it's on Lifetime, because like I said, like, Lifetime is the acting in these biopics is usually pretty cheesy. But from what I could tell from the marketing, the actress that they have playing Wendy is the casting's pretty good. So, we'll just have to wait to see how it turns out. So we're going to close out on our last musical break. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram at the Laura Mazurek, and like and comment on the Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends Facebook page. You can make content and song requests. I hope you have an amazing and uplifting day. Stay safe and stay positive out there. We'll be back with more Style and Empowerment Chat with Laura and Friends next week. Of course, you can also catch our episodes on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Alexa, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast streaming platforms. Thank you to our listeners around the world, and we'll be back next week.
Take it from